clearly crossed the line with several Republicans with his decision to pull U.S. troops out of Syria, clearing the way for Turkish troops to go in. GOP heavyweights like Mitch McConnell, Nikki Haley, and even Lindsey Graham has said he's making a huge mistake. But here's how you know who is spinning it.
People are extremely thrilled because they say it's time to bring our people back home. We're not a police force. They're policing the area. We're not a police force. The UK was very thrilled at this decision. As you know, they're over there. They have soldiers over there also, and others. But many people agree with it very strongly.
Okay.
I mean, who's he talking? Who are these people who are thrilled besides people who are invested in his hotel in Istanbul?
Rand Paul
kind of
is the only
shocking.
one.
Yeah.
As usual. And by the way, if anytime Rand Paul is on the side of an issue, you can automatically assume it's probably a bad one. So
I think he's coming on this week, isn't he, Brian? He's on this week, Friday.
As of now, he's coming on Friday.
You know, it's funny.
I'm not scared of him.
What he said, not Rand Paul, but you know who. While running for president in 2015, he was asked by Steve Bannon at Breitbart how he would handle Turkey and Syria. He said, and he responded, I have a little conflict of interest because I have a major building in Istanbul. It's called Trump Tower, 2 towers instead of 1. Now, this kind of says, well, is that why you're doing this? Is that because you got some money in there and you figure you're going to pull out? Because this is really kind of not smart and bad. And even your own, when Lindsey Graham finally picks up and says this is not right, you got to pay attention.
What about Pat Robertson?
Oh,
I have to read the quote.
Yes, please.
This is the quote from Pat Robertson. Quote, the president, who allowed Khashoggi to be cut into pieces without any repercussions whatsoever, is now allowing the Christians and the Kurds to be massacred by the Turks. That is heavy stuff. And he also says he's not going to get into heaven now. Oh my God.
Joy.
As if he ever had a chance. You know, I don't even think he'd make it into limbo, and they don't even exist. That doesn't even exist anymore.
Joy, can you at least admit now that Republicans push back? Mitch McConnell's even speaking out about this.
But why is that now? They did not push back on any of his crimes, just this one. Why is that?
I thought they should have pushed back more on Ukraine.
And also, can I add one more point? Yeah. Why are these Christians in the Kurds and other Christians who are there helping us? Why are those Christians different from the Christians who are held up at the border? The children, those are Christians too, aren't they?
I don't think it's different, but the Christians in Syria are specifically being persecuted because they are Christian. To my knowledge, Christians coming across the border aren't being persecuted because they're Christian. They're being persecuted because they are because they are Hispanic.
Yes.
So I don't think you can actually. I think that's a straw man argument.
It's crappy.
But you know who's now in charge then if this happens in Syria? Russia.
Well,
Russia. You want to know how that's going to go? And then if they're in charge, then who's going to have more dominance in that region, which is probably the most frightening thing of all, is Iran.
Iran.
Which is very, very scary. If you remember, James Mattis is someone who and I know you did too, really respected him when he was in the White House. At least you knew when he was Secretary of Defense, there was someone that was pushing back when he felt this was one of the reasons he resigned, was because he didn't agree with, he didn't see eye to eye on pulling troops out of Syria and out of Afghanistan. And he said, you need someone that is more in agreement with you. So now I don't know who is with him.
I'll tell you
who is pushing back.
Jim Jordan, who's accused of turning a blind eye to sexual abuse. Mark Meadows, who was a birther. Matt Gaetz, who introduced a bill to abolish the EPA. These are the people, not necessarily in this particular instance, but these are the people who are backing Trump on the impeachment
So can I say one thing?
The low-hanging fruit
but yesterday,
in Congress.